Turn the mic on, Mike. Oh, that's right. I got to turn the mic on. Hello, everybody. This is Mike, KO4PDI, the Ham Fun Guy. And it's Wednesday, and it's 6 p.m. Eastern, 2200 UTC. You know what that means? It's time for our Ham Fun podcast, where we talk all about ham radio and things you can do with it. Sometimes I interview people. Well, today I have a special project I'm doing for you. It is a talk. Everything you always wanted to know about linear satellites, but were afraid to ask. I've had a constant theme from one of my followers in the live chat during my streams asking me to do a detailed story or a detailed discussion strictly on linear satellites like RS-44. So that's what I did. I got together with my computer today and we wrote a script. I don't know how much I'm going to stick to that script because that ain't me. I'm usually off the cuff Mike. But being inspired by the Smoking Ape, I said, I got to polish up my podcast a little bit, make it a little cleaner, a little easier to understand. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about linear satellites tonight. And I'm going to probably either refer to the script as I go to remind me of what to talk about next. Or if you guys have questions, please put them in the chat. I've also included under this video a link to my Discord channel. It'll take you right to my rag chew room on Discord. And you can get in there and you'll be able to literally get on the podcast with me. I'll stream you right here. You can ask your questions of me live. And I will do everything I can to answer them for you. And if I cannot answer them, I will get back to you when I do find out. Or in the words of Obama's press secretary, I'll circle back. I'll circle back to you on that. Okay, so. Wrong button. I hate when I do that. All right. Linear satellites. Well, before we get into the satellites themselves, let me explain to you how I got in 5 years ago, and how I learned mostly from Sean Kutzko, KX9X. That's his call sign. Sean, I believe, has activated every single grid square in the United States via satellite. That's pretty freaking cool, isn't it? If he was able to do that all on satellites. So Sean did a series of videos for DX Engineering. I'm going to play one for you right now. Let's get it on the screen. There's Sean right there. You could see him. Sean is holding an Arrow 2 antenna, and he has his radio rig in a harness around his chest, similar to the way Rob, the digital rancher, does his setup. Is he N5 ITR? Yeah, I think he's either K5 or N5 ITR is his call sign. And Rob kind of does the same thing. He does a lot of portable, but Sean is going to be talking about doing linear satellites portable. Oh, why did that start? Where am I hearing my voice from? Wait a minute. Hold on, folks. Little glitch here. I heard my voice coming in from somewhere. Blade Runner, is that you on Discord making my voice come over to speakers? I thought I had everything shut off there, muted, but okay. Well, you're welcome to stay here. Blade Runner 2049 is in the Discord. That might have been where we got it from. Oh, look at that. My good friend Roger's here. Wayne is here. Roger's here. Good to hear from you, Roger. Happy New Year. All right, I don't want to interrupt this presentation while I'm streaming, so let's wait. I'll catch you guys later on, and we will talk some more about whatever it is you want to talk about. But let me get back to this linear satellite thing. So, okay, we're going to check out Sean Kutzko. I got to turn on my desktop audio. There we go. And I'll hit play, and you hear Sean. This is the guy I learned from.
Echo Nancy 2030, grid line QRZ. Hi, I'm Sean Kutzko, KX9X. Welcome to the third video in this series for DX Engineering on getting started in the amateur radio satellites. In this video, I'll be helping you make the leap to linear satellites. This is the first of a two-part intro to the linear birds. We'll go over the advantages of the linear satellites, equipment needed from a portable operator's perspective, and how to properly tune in a linear satellite and find yourself on the downlink. I'll be building on concepts I touched on in the first two videos, so be sure to review those here on the DX Engineering feed if you need a refresher.
You don't have to go to review them right now, but look up Sean.
The linear birds have a lot of advantages over the FM satellites. The main advantage is that more than one person can use them simultaneously. As I mentioned in the first video in this series, the FM satellites are like an orbiting repeater, meaning only one person can use it at a time. The linear satellites have a transponder, which provides anywhere from 20 to 60 kilohertz of bandwidth to tune across, just like you tune across an HF band. This allows multiple users to make contacts through the satellite at the same time. Another advantage is that it provides you with more opportunities to be on the air. There are far more linear satellites in orbit right now than FM satellites. By getting on the linear birds, you're simply giving yourself more opportunities to make contacts. And lastly, the linear satellites tend to have larger footprints than their FM counterparts. This means it's possible to make contacts over greater distances. This comes in very handy if you enjoy working DX stations, or you're trying to make contact with as many different grid squares as you possibly can. As an example, record distance contacts on the FM satellites are around 5,000 to 6,000 kilometers, whereas record distances on the linear satellites are well over 8,000 kilometers.
Turn your mic on, Mike. Let's just pause here for a second. What Sean is talking about is most linear satellites fly at a much higher altitude than LEO satellites, which are at 240 to 260 miles above the Earth, where linear satellites could be anywhere from 500 to 800 miles above the Earth. RS-44, which is a linear satellite, has been known to be at least 900 miles above the Earth, which is pretty cool. My only gripe is I wish the Artemis rocket was taking up a transponder. That would be nice. But anyway, what you're talking about here, a linear satellite can receive and retransmit multiple signals at the same time over a range of frequencies. That's in contrast to an FM satellite that has one door in and one door out, using a CT-CSS tone. So whoever gets in with that tone first grabs the repeater and has it. Sometimes you'll hear two people talking at the same time that either aren't hearing each other or don't realize they're stepping on somebody else on a FM bird. But most of the time, one person gets in, that's it until he gets off. All right, and the other thing, to do linear satellites, you need sideband. All this stuff is pretty easy to understand. Now, when Sean was doing this, they had Heavens Above, and I think they had GoSat Watch. They were both getting their TLE data from different places, and they never freaking agreed. You never knew if you were really looking where the satellite was going to be and where they were going to be later. You didn't know. So that's why when they came out with the SAT box and when they came out with the ISS detector, it made it much, much better because people were starting to realize we have to all get the same TLE data. I can show you something right now. According to my SAT box, the ISS is going to be coming over my house quick. Actually, a geophone, there's a geophone shows it. It's right down by my call sign. That's where it is right now. But according to my SAT box output, it's not going to get to me until 6:40. So that's a half hour. That's 30 minutes from now. But according to this footprint, it's going to be over me a lot sooner. If it's here by 6:40, we'll go live with it. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to have the music on. Hey, Ape. Smoking Ape came by to say hi. Intro music, thank you. Thank you, Roger, for telling me that my dumbass did that. Anyway, that's the reason it's different than my SAT box, is because it's not getting the TLE data in the same place my SAT box is getting the TLE data. And it also probably hasn't updated at Geochron. If they don't update it at Geochron, it's not going to be updated on my Geochron screen. So that's one of the biggest problems I had early on, was getting the correct TLE data so I knew where satellites were. All right. Most important thing, you got to know when and where the satellite's going to be. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time. So the linear satellites we talked about, you have transmit, you receive. RS-44, for example, has 30,000 hertz of bandwidth. So that means if your signal is 3 hertz wide, that's 300 people can be talking on that transponder at the same time. Now, are they going to get 300 people on? No, they'll all be stepping on each other. But the reality is you have a very wide berth to tune like you do on HF. Look for signals and talk to people, or just call CQ, have them find you, and you can talk. Now, one of the most important things... Oh, Nick. Don't worry, Nick. Who's doing the presentation, you or me? Nick's the one that's been bugging me, asking me about this. So we'll get to that, Nick. So the most important thing is to tune your radio so that you're hearing your own voice. This is why they say use full duplex. On most radios that have sideband and capabilities, like the IC 9700, you have a dial on there called received incremental tuning. Everybody looks at it and says it's the RIT dial. Yes, receive incremental tuning is what it is. And what that does, whatever you're using to accommodate Doppler effect and all that, well, when you're compensating for the Doppler effect on the transmit frequency and you go to tune it so you can hear yourself, you're going off the frequency on the transmit side. So what receive incremental tuning does is take that receive side. So say you're hearing your voice here on a waterfall, but you're talking here. If you talk here and you don't hear, your voice sounds all like squealy, like high pitch squealy, you're off frequency. So you want to get this listening frequency closer to where the transmit frequency is without changing the transmit frequency. That's what receive incremental tuning is. It brings them together. That's one very important aspect of linear satellites. You really can't do that with an HT or using 2 HTs or whatever. But what Sean did in the video, I'll put that back on for you to see it. What Sean did here is he's going to show you the equipment he uses, the radios he uses. He's using Yaesu 817, I think he's got 2 of those. Yeah, watch.
As I mentioned earlier, we're still focusing on equipment needed for portable operations, building on the gear used for FM operating that we covered in a previous video. We'll go over operating the satellites from your home station in an upcoming video. As you would expect, a lot of the gear used for your FM satellite station can be used for your linear station as well, such as the handheld Yagi, the boom mic headset, and the digital recorder to record the satellite passes as they're occurring. But you'll need 2 radios that transmit and receive on sideband, on VHF and UHF, in order to access the linear birds. Here's an example of a common portable linear satellite station that fits into a camera bag. I learned about this configuration from Paul Stetzer, N8HM, who is the Executive Vice President of AMSAT, the Radio Amateur Satellite Corporation of America, and a very active satellite operator. This configuration is quite common among portable satellite operators. This is just one example of a portable linear capable satellite station. There are plenty of radio combinations that can do this, including some software-defined radio options if you're interested in that aspect of the hobby. So be sure to use your imagination and experiment. This station is built around 2 Yaesu FT817 transceivers. Many stations now use the newer Yaesu 818 as well. One radio is used for transmit, The other is used for receive. A boom mic headset adapter plugs into the side of the transmit radio and is fed through the wall of the bag, while a multi-input headphone adapter is plugged into the receive radio's headphone jack. From there, the operator's headphones and a line out to a digital recorder can be connected. Antenna cables are routed to the front antenna port of the 817s. A diplexer is in line to help prevent the transmitted signal from overloading the receive radio's front end. This phenomenon is known as desense. A diplexer helps isolate the receive radio from the nearby transmitter and is quite effective in eliminating desense. Without it, the transmitter can overload the receive radio when you are transmitting, which prevents you from hearing anything at all. Power is provided to the radios by a 9 amp-hour LiFePO battery. A shoulder harness replaces the single shoulder carrying strap so the bag can sit comfortably on the operator's chest with full access to both radios. So how do you key the transmitter? Some have a push-to-talk button in one hand, while others use Vox operation. I prefer to use Vox operation, but you should experiment and discover what works best for you.
All right, what Sean was talking about there is the two Yaesu radios he uses and how to avoid desense. So when you're transmitting on one, it doesn't knock out the one you're trying to listen on. See, for him, receive incremental tuning is easy. He just does it right on the two radios, tunes it to wherever he wants the receive or the transmit radio to be. But like he was saying, I'm sitting there watching him. I originally bought a digital recorder like he has, and I set up almost with an HT. I'm using the setup that he's got to record the audio and all that. Now, with my wireless microphones that can hear the radio right under my nose, the fact I got ISS detector app, which is really accurate. I don't need the extra recording thing. I mean, I thought it was funny when he was just showing the headphone adapter there. He had coffee stains on there. I thought that was, you go back and watch that later. You'll get a kick out of it. So he's using in this demonstration, his demonstration here is strictly linear satellites portable. All right? Linear satellites portable. So none of this helped me unless I had two radios, because I didn't know nothing about what he was talking about when I started watching this in the beginning. But you can see he has an Arrow 2 antenna, and I went out and bought one of those too. And now I'm going to use that same antenna on the PSR 100 rotator when I go out to take it out, probably for winter field day. I'll drag all that stuff out and set it up and try to make some satellite contacts with it during field day. That would be fun. I'm just debating on where I'm going to go do it. Where am I going to go do that now? We'll see. All right. So what Mr. Andrews is asking about is the antenna choices. All right. This was going to be strictly on linear satellites, but since you're asking, there's another Sean Kutzko video that he did for DX Engineering where he used the egg beater antennas, and that seemed to be a really less expensive way to go to do satellites instead of getting a rotor and some 2 meter and 70 centimeter Yagis. And the egg beaters sound like they made sense, but they work. They're not that great. You can't get the satellite unless it's at least 10 degrees up, 15 degrees up. You would hardly hear it. But what they did teach in that video that he did with DX Engineering was the need for a preamp on your transmit and receive. What's really nice about the ICOM 9700 is it will power the preamp. The way the preamp gets its power is through the sheath of the coax. So normally you'd have to put a box in the house that put out 10 volts on there every time you were listening. When you transmit, it automatically turns off the 10 volts. That's what powers the preamp. So I had those preamps when I finally got my Yagis and a rotator. So I still use them. They're still in line on the system. Are they causing some issues? Possibly. I haven't proven it yet. but I think they might be causing an issue on local repeaters. Okay, so if you're going to set up a permanent setup, Iman, don't worry about it. I'm going to edit this video and put it up on my channel after I'm done with this. So what you need is the absolute, it's just like everything else in ham radio, or when I did photography, it was in photography. The best antennas you can afford at the time. Don't skimp on the antennas. The antennas are probably your most important connection to you and the signal, especially if you have a lot of coax on the end of your radio like I do. I got like 120 feet of LMR 400 on my radio. So that's why I use higher wattage when I transmit. Yeah, it is times I could turn it all the way down to 10 watts or 5 watts. The ISS, you don't have to worry about that. The ISS radio is a 20 watt radio, so don't worry about that. The other ones are like micro radios. They're like milliamps. They're transmitting out. Not even 1 amp. Their transmitters are at. Oh my God, Twitter's going nuts, and my freaking phone won't shut up. I'm gonna hit Do Not Disturb. Turn that off. All right. Where did we leave off? All right. To wrap up, let me share a quick example. Not long ago, I made a contact through a linear satellite that allowed me to reach an operator hundreds of miles away, something that wouldn't have been possible with a standard FM satellite. It's a fantastic way to expand your ham radio horizons. The reason it can go so far is because that happened to happen on RS-44. I talked to somebody in Panama, and on the same pass, I got somebody in North Dakota and Canada. So not at the same time. The footprint's big, but ain't that big. But it just happened to work out that way. The beginning of the pass, I got Panama, and toward the end and mind you, I'm in Florida. That's a long way from here to Panama. And it was right at the beginning of the pass I picked them up. So it's because linear satellites normally are higher in the sky than, I'll just check in the time. They're higher in the sky than the FM satellites. If anybody has any questions, please put them in the chat now, and I will try to get you more information. Let's see. I'm going to give you a link for AMSAT. This is a link you can download a book, A Beginner's Guide to Satellites. So I'm going to put that in the chat right now. I will even pin that to the top. And you can use that link. Now, they ask for a donation, I believe, of $10 when you do that. The video we were watching of Sean Kutzko, I will upload that link right now to the chat. There's nobody watching me on Discord, so nobody's got a question. I guess you people aren't really into Discord, are you? I hit Do Not Disturb. Jeez. Oh, well. Anyway, those two links in the chat, you can see them right there. Here's the one for the AMSAT booklet on beginning in satellites, and here's the one to the Sean Kutzko video we were just looking at. If you have any examples... Oh, here we go. Roger, Kilo Victor for India. That's my buddy from Lake County. I gotta shrink the text some more. Zoom out a little more. That's better. I have a UHF egg beater with a powered preamp at home for one of my verticals due to HOA rules. I feel for you, Roger. Although if it works, it works. There's no comparison to my portable Alaskan Arrow and the Sat Box. Yeah, the Sat Box, I hope you understand. This video is strictly about linear satellites, but I'll bring up the Sat Box at the same time. The Sat Box is invaluable. I am telling you, I spent a year pissing money away and trying different. I even bought an Android phone so I could get the Heavens Above app because they don't make it for the iOS phone. I bought another phone just so I could run that. And the stuff never agreed. They never all agreed on it. And it was frustrating. And you go out there and you try to make calls, and it just got so frustrating. I just gave away the handheld that I made my first contact on. It was an Allo-Inch HD1. Just in time, they just came out with the second one, the HD2. So we'll see how that goes. I wasn't crazy about that radio. Yes, Roger, we know you track with the 5500. Yes. Mm-hmm. We are aware of that. I'm just checking the notes, making sure I'm not missing something. What I want you to realize is the point of this is to have a good time with it. Talk to people. I got people, Virgilio down in Panama. That guy used to annoy the crap out of me on FM Birds. Oh my God. Hotel Papa 2 Victor X-Ray. If you've done satellites, you've heard that voice. Hotel Papa 2 Victor X-Ray. That's probably the most accurate impression I do in my life. But Virgilio is the guy who made me think it was possible to have a YouTube channel. Why do I say that? He didn't even have a YouTube channel, but he was on Twitter. And every time I made a QSO with him on a satellite, he posted on his Twitter. Got me a ton of followers. Not just me, everybody. Everybody he talked to, he posts their call sign. And if they're on Twitter, he links them in, and people can say, oh, well, you know, look, he's talking. If any of you guys found me by going to Virgilio's post, that would be cool. Because Virgilio used to be on every freaking pass of every satellite, and all you ever heard was Hotel Papa 2 Victor X-Ray, Hotel Papa 2 Victor X-Ray. He's in Panama. And I talked to him many times. Now it's to the point now where he hears me. He knows my voice. I know his voice. And we talk all the time. And he's a really nice guy. He was the first one to wish me a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Just a really nice guy. And that's what happens. You start doing these satellites. You start meeting John, N2FYA up in Connecticut. John, been talking to John on every bird. He was my first contact on a satellite this year. And I told him that. And I said, yeah, you're the first one this year. So, yeah. And and the tally for last year is 2,200 and something and change contacts I made on the satellites last year. The year before was 2,400. The year before was 2,300. The year before that was probably like 10, but I was just starting out. But yeah, I've been doing satellites basically since I got into this, and I love doing them. And linear satellites are some of the most fun you can have on satellites. What time is it? 6:27? Yeah, we got, see, this is the problem. The geochron, take a look at the geochron. It shows the ISS just about to pass over me. But if I look at the sat box, I got 12 minutes before it's over me. So, and I know mine's right because I pick up the satellite when it says it's going to be there. So there. Yeah, according to the sat box, we are going to have a 13.08 degree pass in 11 minutes and 48 seconds. So, hey, let's set up for this. Let's do that. No, don't want to do that yet. We got that. We got the radio. Turn the radio on. Ba, 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 ba. And we'll turn the antenna camera on. Da, 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 da. Look at those driving on the clouds next to the antenna. I realized I left the volume up on the 9700. Yeah, let's switch to the antenna screen so you can see the beautiful clouds. Oh, aren't they pretty? It's dark out already. The dog is sleeping in her pillow, I'm sure. Want to see? Let's see. Yep, there she is, curled up on her bed. She loves her new bed. Oh my God, she hasn't slept on any couches. She hasn't gotten in my recliner. The recliner on the left with the blanket over the back, that's the one she used to sleep in all the time. Not anymore. Anyway, enough of that. We're not here for that. So if you guys have any questions about linear satellites now, get back to me. when we were talking about antennas, Mr. Andrews, you want to get the best antenna you can afford at the time. The best you can get would be the M Squared Leo Pack, which runs about $700, and it's a circularly polarized 70 centimeter and circularly polarized 2-meter antenna. What I have is similar to that. It's two X quads, they call them. They're Wemo makes them in Germany, and they have phasing cables on them. So they're also circularly polarized. They're a little shorter than the Leo Pack, but they work really good. And if you look up on my mast, you could see the Yaesu 5500 at the top of the mast. And you come down about 6 inches, there's two black boxes, one on the right, one on the left. Those are the preamps. And the wires that come out of them go right to the antennas. They go to the phasing cables. Below that, the white thing you see, that is my Meshtastic node. It acts like a repeater, and that's about 43 feet in the air, 45 feet in the air, I'd say. And yeah, that does great. If I turn on the MQTT, I get over 200 nodes. But if I just leave it up there like that, I usually get about 90 nodes. It picks up through multiple hops on some of them, but it gets a bunch of them. Man, what the heck is beeping and banging over here? Anyway, ignore that. All right, the ISS is about to rise in 8 minutes. All right, so there's my tower. Those are the antennas I have. They're two Wemo X quads, and they are at 47 feet above the ground. All right, so the other ones are about 44 feet above the the mesh node is at about 44 feet. All right, so as you can see, according to the geochron, the ISS is directly over me right now, just a little to the south. But in reality, it ain't here yet because there's no signals on the frequencies. I'm looking at them right now on my radio. If you look at the sat box, if there was something there, you'd see stuff happening on a waterfall, and there's nothing happening on the waterfall right now. So, geochron, update your TLE, will you? I've already have. Oh, and the reason I know for a fact that's the issue, last week, the Dragon capsule that went up there, that's on there right now, fired its engines for 9 minutes to boost the orbit of the ISS, which changes your TLE data. So that the time it's supposed to come up is going to change. All right. Boop, boop, boop. Boring. Yeah, it's boring. I thought it would take longer to do this video, but I think I got all the points across, and you guys didn't ask any questions, so moving on. We're going to do this pass, and then we're going to get out of here. Take the DOG for her last WALK, and then she'll go back to her little pillow when she's done to go to sleep. Right before I came in here, I took her outside. We were throwing the ball around for a little while, tiring her out. Oh, that's my X account. I had turned off my notifications on X, and I turned them on a little while ago. And all of a sudden, they're all over the place. And they're not stopping. Anyway. Checking it out. I got to unclutter my screen a bit. Oh, by the way, oh, what happened to that camera? Where'd that camera go? Well, there's the desk camera. It's right over there looking at me. And this is there's the overhead camera. It's back now. That's looking down at my filthy desk. This radio you see over here, that's an FTM 300. This is a tablet, a little tablet, and it's my FT5D. In the middle of this green light is an HRI 200, which is where the room 43677 resides, which every Monday night at 5 p.m. Eastern, we do a net here. So make sure you get your butt over there. Go to my QRZ. You can find out how to get in the net. It's pretty darn easy. If you don't have a Wires X radio, take a digital, I don't know, a digital radio and use an open spot and get on FCS 310 room 38. And that'll get you into the same room that we're in. Those are bridged together. So, yeah, it might even find a way to put All-Star in there, but I haven't done that yet. All right. All right, let's get ready for this pass. Man, it's like it's going in slow motion backwards. Still got 5 minutes to go. Hey. So did everybody get the Christmas presents they wanted for Christmas this year? I think I turned her. I got to fix the radio. The radio camera's not on. Why isn't the radio camera on? No. No. There it is. I love how it just disappears. USB buses on computers confuse the hell out of me. I think what it is, if you have two cameras on the same USB bus, they interfere with each other. They cause a flicker and everything. So right now in this scene, we have three cameras on. The one on top is on my Reolink system. So that's just doing a screen capture of the output of that camera. The one on the radio and the one on me are both what they call angel tube cameras. They look like this. This one isn't even hooked up yet. But this has a ring around it. If I turn this, when it's plugged in, it has a light. So there's one of these looking at me right in front of me. Probably if I go in the overhead camera, I can show you that. Yeah. So this is the camera that I'm using. And this is it right here. That's the one looking straight at me. It's right next to the sat box. And then this one here is looking at the 9700, which is right in front of it. See if I put my hand in front of it? Right there. Oh, you can't see that. Anyway, that's what I use. But what I found out early on is if they're both plugged into the same USB bus, they cause interference with each other. Like now, I just switched. The radio camera disappeared again, right? Because I just switched from, let's see if I deactivate and activate it. Yep, there it is. That's all I got to do. That one's probably plugged into the same place the overhead camera's plugged in. That's why when I switch when I go off the camera, when I go on something that's not on this screen and I'm not using the camera, it turns the camera off. And then when I come back to it, it turns it back on. So if I go to the solo camera here, that's looking at me. When I come back, you see the radio camera wasn't on when we first switched this screen. It popped on because once my solo camera went off, then this one kicked in. So, or once that other screen went off, it kicked in. Andy Cowley, you're late, but I'm glad you're here. Welcome aboard, buddy. Happy New Year. We're getting ready to do an ISS pass, Andy. We have 2 minutes and 5 seconds to go. I think I'll get my headphones. Make sure my microphone is connected to the correct radio. It is. Make sure my foot is on the correct foot pedal. I bought, when I redid my shack, I bought a heavy-duty foot cable on Amazon, a foot switch. It's dual foot switches. It's kind of made like an industrial machine, like a press or like that they press clothes in the dry cleaners where they lay the clothes out, they step on a pedal and it brings it down and steams it. Well, that's what this pedal was made for. It's a heavy-duty metal pedal because it gets a lot of work. And it has one is connected to the 9700 and the other one's connected to the 7610. So when I transmit on that, and then I have a switch box that I switch between the two radios. This microphone goes either, like right now, it's going to the 9700. If I switch and do HF, it goes over to the 7610. But it's all done with this little switch on the desk here. If you look at the overhead shot again, I can show you that. That's see, now the overhead picture is not coming up. Let's go to the desk and come back to the overhead. Okay, this right here, you see these two labels? There's buttons on the front here where I'm looking right here. If I have it pushed in here, it's connected to the 9700. If I push this one in, it's connected to the 7610. That's how I'm able to switch the microphone between the two. What's going into that is the input into the mixer. That's where that goes. So, all right. We're getting there now, folks. And the radio camera's not there, so deactivate, activate. Yep, that's all I got to do. Deactivate and activate. All right, let's turn up. There's the chirp. The ISS is at the horizon. Is it down right now? I know they were going to be doing spacewalks, but I think they're back because we got a green flag on the top right here in the sat box. Right here, we got a green flag. It says last time we went by, it was up and running. This is not a high pass. This is the max 13 degrees, but what the heck? If I stay up until 8:15, it'll be a 35-degree pass. But chances are I won't be up at 8:15. I'll be in the bedroom. Goldie be going to sleep for the night. And I'll be watching Greg Gutfeld reruns that I taped. All right, not hearing anything yet. Kilo Oscar 4, Papa Delta India, Echo Lima 99. Not yet. We are up to 3.9 degrees. Kilo Oscar 4, Papa Delta India, Echo Lima 99. Now you might see on the radio window I do have the preamp on, but I didn't have the power going to it. Now I shut the preamp off. Let's see how we do with the preamp off. Kilo Oscar 4, Papa Delta India, Echo Lima 99. Nothing yet. Let's check the AMSAT page. Yeah, ISS FM was up 10:15 UTC today. That was a while ago. Hello, Ed. We're just listening to the ISS here, trying to make a couple of contacts. We just had a nice discussion about linear satellites. All right, we're at 8 degrees. Kilo Oscar 4, Papa Delta India, Echo Lima 99. Andy, you missed it. Ape was here. How you doing, Andy? Welcome aboard. Happy New Year. Smoking Ape was in here before, which is nice. Kilo Oscar 4, Papa Delta India. Wow, we're not getting anything. We're almost to the max. We're at 10 degrees above the horizon. I should be hearing it. I do have the rotator turned on and the antenna is moving. And according to AMSAT, let's ISS FM. Ah, there you go. You see why we're not hearing it? Right here, folks. Read it and weep. Default mode is for voice repeater, 145 blah blah blah. Powered off January 7th, that's today at 1740 UTC. Powered on January 9th at 10 UTC. So, folks, we're not doing an ISS pass. Duh. Da 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 da. However, no, my transmit frequency is not high. I'm high. No, I'm not. No, Ed, the The ISS isn't on right now. It's shut off. They're doing a spacewalk. I know earlier today they were doing a spacewalk. You know, you can watch those on YouTube. They stream those live on YouTube when they do it. So, all right, we don't need the headphones. I figured I'd check it since we were here and doing the podcast. What the hell? Let me jump on there, see if it's up. Well, it's not up. I knew they were going down around now, and it was for, they're putting out, I guess it was last year, they did like 4 of these. They're solar panels that come rolled up, and they attach them near the existing solar panels, and they unravel out. They're just as big as the ones that are there, but they're much more efficient, and they needed it because they needed more power on the International Space Station. So this spacewalk that they're doing, I think they're putting 4 of these in. I'm not sure, but it's basically, it looks like a rolled up carpet, and they bolt it down and wire it up and then press a button, and it slowly unravels and goes out like hundreds of feet out. If you ever looked at the picture of the ISS and you see the giant solar panels, that's what they're putting in. Portable ones of those that unravel out. Something you'd want to put on your car for POTA. I don't think so. Oh, man. Anyway, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, nobody's got any questions. Well, that's okay. I'm not going to force you. I'm going to get out of Discord. So you all lost your shot there. You could have talked to me, and you didn't. But no, if you have any questions about particular things, maybe I'll do a special video one day for Mr. Andrews just on different types of antennas. Now, you saw Roger at home. He uses a egg beater for, I think it was 70 centimeter, and he's got a vertical for 2 meter that he operates with because of his HOA. He does have a Yaesu 5500 rotator with an Alaskan antenna on it, and he uses that, and when we go on field day and stuff like that, it does great with it. And he's got a sat box to control it, which works great. It's just that setting up for satellites is a very tedious thing. You don't want to do it on a day where you might get rain because you don't want your stuff getting wet. You got to find a good time to do it where it's not too windy and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'll get that rotator out and do a video on it. It's built. I've experimented with it. I know it works. I just have to make it happen now. So on that note, everybody, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to my live streams when I do them. Thank you for coming to my podcast every week. And start coming to my net on Monday nights at 5 p.m. Eastern. And the reason it's so early is because there's a lot of guys in Europe that come on here. Andy, Iman, Martin comes on from the Netherlands. And I try to do a little earlier so that they can get in and join in on it. So if you can get into FCS 310 room 38 or Wires X 43677, you can join that net. And basically we just take a list of names, and then we state what's going on. What are you doing this week? What did you build? What did you use? Did you make a QSO? And we just have a nice talk. And plus it gives you the ability to test out your equipment, make sure everything works. So if you ever really need to use it in an emergency, you don't have to read the manual. You actually know how to do it. That's why we do nets, so you get used to using your equipment. It's like when you get a gun. Do you get the gun and keep it in a box until maybe I might need it? Is that what you do? I don't think so. You take it out to the range and you shoot with it, and you practice with it, and you learn how it works. Well, that's the same thing with ham radio. If you don't use it, you lose it. So that's why I run a net on Monday nights, and you're more than welcome to join. Tell your friends about it. They can even just listen in. I stream it while I'm doing it. I was going to use NetLogger. There's no need. It's been like 1 or 2 of us each week so far. So I started in December with that. So hopefully in the future we get more participants and we could do more with it. All right. I'm going to call it a night, my boys. This is KO4 PDI saying 73, and thank you so much for watching. God bless you. And remember, don't do anything I wouldn't do, at least not without me, all right? 73, everybody.